Okay, let's get right into it. Today in this explainer, we are pulling back the curtain on the Anmol cartel case, and at the absolute center of this whole thing is a notoriously elusive figure known as Pinky Khan. We're talking about a massive, shadowy narcotics syndicate operating across multiple cities. We'll look at the systemic corruption that allegedly protected it all and, well, what happens when the dominoes finally start to fall.
I mean, stop me if you can. Seriously? That wasn't just some rumor or whisper, that was a direct, completely brazen challenge she literally broadcast to the world. Pinky Khan actually became this massive internet phenomenon thanks to a leaked audio clip where she essentially dared the authorities to come catch her. And you know what's crazy? Even when she was eventually brought in, people were just totally shocked by her VIP-style court appearance. She didn't look like someone whose criminal empire was collapsing, right? She looked untouchable. She projected this aura of complete invincibility that left everyone absolutely baffled.
So that brings us to the central mystery of this whole explainer. How exactly did a notorious cartel leader operate in plain sight for so long? And more importantly, what finally brought her down? Okay, let's dive into this. Because the massive gap between her viral, arrogant online persona and the gritty, highly sophisticated reality of her day-to-day enterprise is just absolutely fascinating.
Right, so the ultimate turning point? That would be the Karachi apartment raid. Now, this wasn't just your standard, routine patrol stop. No, this was a fast, highly calculated strike executed by the Garden Police, aimed straight at the nerve center of the operation. And let me tell you, when authorities finally breached those doors, what they found inside instantly shifted the whole narrative from, social media bravado to hard, undeniable criminal reality.
Because inside that apartment, the police didn't just stumble upon a typical stash house. They uncovered a fully functioning mobile chemical lab right alongside massive quantities of raw materials and pure cocaine. And the key takeaway here is absolutely crucial. She wasn't just importing the product from somewhere else. She was actively manufacturing it. And having mobile infrastructure meant she could literally pack up and vanish at a moment's notice to stay one step ahead of the law.
Now you've got to realize, this level of operational sophistication, it doesn't just happen overnight. If we rewind and trace her history of evasion, we can actually follow her hidden operations from their early roots back in 2019 all the way up to her eventual downfall in late 2022. So we're looking at a sustained, multi-year campaign of building this sprawling, incredibly lucrative network completely off the radar. But here's the thing. She definitely didn't act alone. This whole shebang was a deeply entrenched, family-run syndicate. Her operations weren't just isolated to one neighborhood. They spread like wildfire across major metropolitan hubs. We're talking Lahore, Islamabad, and eventually Karachi. And she ran this network with her brothers Nasir and Riaz Baloch, who acted as her key lieutenants, really helping her expand the geographic footprint and tighten their iron grip on the region's narcotics trade.
14. Think about that number for a second. Long before the viral audio leaks and the flashy VIP court appearances, there were already 14 existing FIRs formally filed against her. That is a staggering, literally unbelievable volume of alleged offenses just sitting there on the books. It absolutely begs the question, if the authorities had 14 documented reasons to go after her, how did she manage to not just survive, but actively expand her empire across 3 of the country's biggest cities?
Well, as you can see, the expansion was incredibly systematic. The cartel really planted its roots in Lahore and Islamabad back in 2019, and then they successfully pushed south into Karachi by 2021. But then, 2022 hits, and evasion turned into violent escalation. During what's now widely known as the SUV incident, she allegedly attempted to straight-up run over Lahore police with her car when she was cornered. So actually, scratch that whole quiet evasion idea, this marked a profound shift to direct violent confrontation with law enforcement.
So how in the world does someone survive a violent physical confrontation with the police with 14 FIRs already to their name and still stay in business? Well, to understand that, we have to look past the standard cops and robbers storyline and look at a massive systemic issue. Because as investigators started peeling back the layers of this cartel, sweeping allegations of a major police scandal surfaced. It points to this profound institutional failure that allegedly gave the Anmol cartel the exact oxygen it needed to survive and thrive for so long. Reports are now claiming that certain members of the Punjab Police and even CIA officers were actively involved in shielding the cartel. And the alleged compensation here? It wasn't just petty cash. No way. We are talking about massive, life-altering bribes. Think luxury vehicles and entire houses. Now, it is absolutely crucial to note that these are still allegations, but they point to a highly sophisticated layer of protection that seemingly allowed her to operate with just completely unchecked impunity.
Naturally, the sheer scale of this alleged institutional corruption just couldn't be ignored anymore. The political fallout was swift and immediate, prompting Chief Minister Maryam Nawaz to officially and very publicly demand a comprehensive report on the whole matter. Because honestly, when the tentacles of a cartel are alleged to reach deep into the very institutions that are designed to stop them, well, swift, high-level political demands for accountability become absolutely necessary, right? You have to investigate these claims to even attempt to restore public trust in the system.
But here's the kicker. Even with all this high-level government attention, and the cartel leader finally sitting behind bars, the case is currently stuck in a massive procedural roadblock. Because bringing down the cartel? That was really only phase 1. Phase 2 is figuring out who actually has the jurisdiction to prosecute her. The legal conflict unfolding right now in the aftermath is honestly becoming almost as tangled as the criminal enterprise itself.
This has essentially triggered a bitter legal tug-of-war. On one hand, you have the Sindh authorities who executed the successful Karachi raid. But on the other hand, the Punjab authorities are dealing with her extensive, multi-year history of evasion and all that massive systemic corruption fallout in their own jurisdiction. Both provinces want primary custody, locking them in this intense dispute over her 3-day remand, which basically leaves the immediate resolution of this monumental true crime case just totally hanging in the balance.
So it leaves us with this final thought. When cartels are out there building mobile chemical labs, when they allegedly buy off the very authorities sworn to protect the public with literal houses and cars, and when provinces are bickering over jurisdiction rather than delivering swift justice, who really pays the price in the war on drugs? Is it the kingpins who dare the world to stop them, or is it the society left vulnerable in their wake? Let me know what you guys think down below. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Make sure to subscribe for our next deep dive, and I will see you next time.